There is a lot to catch up on since the start of this journey last year. This video has taken a while for me to publish and create for a bunch of different reasons. First off, just being naive to the whole video editing process. My camera broke recently, so a lot of the recent footage has been taken on my iPhone. And to be quite honest, we weren't sure if we wanted to display a lot of our personal information through these projects via this platform. I've decided to continue recording as much as I can or feel comfortable with doing, keeping our private life private, but still being able to put out content as we learn, because we're very new to all of these things, and that has been super apparent the past year. I have a whole lot of old footage from this time last year when we were grinding out the projects, and I wasn't editing enough video to catch up with it all. So to avoid this being an extra long video, I will compact everything as best as I can. To start, I'll take you back to last year. In the last video I showed, we immediately took out that disgusting carpet that was already in the house and hired a flooring company to install laminate vinyl planks. That was definitely a priority before we even thought about moving our stuff in last spring. The flooring is complete almost. We're getting there. One step at a time. That was tone deaf. The first big project after that was removing all of the fake wood trim that was in the corner of the ceiling to the walls. I just felt like it closed off the space, made it feel smaller. So once that was removed, we discovered large gaps in between the wall and the ceiling.
Oh, you see? You see that gap? That is huge.
I have to remind myself even now and going forward that this is a manufactured home, and it was put up pretty quickly, if I were to guess, without much attention to detail before it was shipped to this current location. I decided to continue removing the trim and learn how to fill in those gaps. I did some research, bought some joint compound, aka drywall mud, putty knives, and went to work. This took a lot of time, much longer than I expected it to, and definitely delayed our timeline on these projects last year. But I can't leave out what we needed to do before I filled in those gaps, and that was removing all of the disgusting popcorn ceiling that was on every inch of our ceiling in the entire house.
Let's get PPE on before we scrape off this nasty stuff.
That was so gross. We're pretty sure that the previous owner smoked indoors, and there was a layer of yellow grime that was embedded into the popcorn ceiling. Slowly but surely, we got every last bit of popcorn ceiling off. It did require spraying of water with a garden sprayer first to moisten it, since there were layers of paint on top. It needed to be wet before we scraped it, and that made the process much easier. So once that was done, then I started the mudding, and I became an expert at mixing small batches of joint compound. So many batches. In order to fill the larger gaps, I needed to put foam backer rod and drywall mesh tape, then a layer of joint compound again. So take both these off, eyeball how long you might need, rip.
Push it in a little.
I could have made the mud a little bit cleaner during my application. I went on a whim and I did the best I could, and it turned out pretty good.
So you can kind of see this corner is a little messed up, but the good thing is I have a sander. It's a corner sander, so it'll get right in the nook and just smooth it all out.
There have been a few areas where we had to fill in some cracks, but otherwise it was a long process, and I'm really glad I did it. It made the house look so much cleaner and overall just a lot more open. The next step was the sanding, which was a huge mess and definitely the worst part of all the projects we've done so far, in my opinion. But we needed to do it to get the smoothest layer possible before priming and painting the walls.
You can see the lines of my mask, and my hair's all wet. My whole body is like white as a ghost from all the sand.
Trying to get the ceilings completely prepped so we can prime and paint. So, a lot of sanding. That's what we've been doing the last week or so, is just making messes like this. Our whole kitchen, a layer of it. It is a real pain in the butt.
But we bought paint. I can't look at myself, it's ridiculous. We bought some paint, so that is one of our projects. Tom, what are you doing?
I didn't do much filming of the priming and painting because it's pretty straightforward, and I think I wasn't quite sure if I was going to keep recording at this point. What I ended up starting at the end of last spring, beginning into the summer, was a complete remodel of our main bedroom closet. The house is a pretty decent size, but we could always use more storage space. So I decided to take out the previous wire racks that were in the closet and build out a frame at the bottom that I built up with plywood sheets.
We have some liquid nails I'm going to put on the back of this panel to put on the wall, as well as screwed in.
And some shelving to create a ton of cubby space. This small area was extremely difficult to work in. That was definitely a design flaw on my part. I didn't take into account the small spaces, how big of a person I am, and trying to fit in to screw together the shelving, to patch the screw holes, to caulk, to sand, and to paint. It was a very tiny area, and I had a lot of mental breakdowns in this little space.
Trying to do anything in this corner is so hard. I hate this house. This house sucks.
I would say that was the largest project that I took on over the past year. We did a lot of little things, but this was the biggest project with more of a finished look when it was completed. I am really proud of how it turned out. A lot of sweat and tears were put into that little room, and it has served its purpose. We have all of our clothes in there and a lot of other things in the storage cubbies, and I'm sure it'll continue to fill up, and I will not regret creating that much space.
I'm super proud of all of this, built from scratch.
Got the dresser. Areas for our laundry basket. It took so much work to get all of this done, but I am happy about it. And it smells fresh, and now we just have to put some clothes in here and we'll be good to go.
David and I were both juggling working and getting these projects done at the same time. I was taking a little bit of time off in between the travel nurse contracts, so I was able to put in a little bit more work when I was taking that time off. In December, we decided that was a good time to start the main bathroom renovation. It's a pretty large bathroom and there was a lot to rip out, so we started demolition on that in December.
Time to take out the shower.
And we are currently finishing up the bathroom. There were a lot of hiccups, including plumbing, electrical, simple tasks that shouldn't have taken as long as they did. But we want this bathroom to last a long time. It took some extra work and a lot of patience to figure out exactly how to set up a jacuzzi tub, how to get the outlet for the jacuzzi tub hooked up to our breaker, how to replace the ceiling fan that didn't already have a duct going outside.
Getting this box in the ceiling and attached to the vent, which we had to create a new vent duct system going outside.
And so much more. Tiling, there's been so many things that we've learned along the way of this bathroom renovation. I didn't do a lot of filming of the process because around this time my camera broke and it's been hard to find a place to repair it. Hopefully soon we will be done with the bathroom, and after that I will upload a video with a before and after. It was a huge goal of ours to finish the interior fencing around our house, sort of like a backyard where the dogs can have an area to run around without us worrying about them running off or chasing after other vehicles or deer that are nearby. David post-holed a ton of 8-foot posts to put fencing around, and putting up that fencing, we had to get a little creative with how to get it as tight as possible without sagging areas. So we used the truck, attached the fencing to that with a couple 2x4s and a ratchet, then drove the truck away from the area of the fence we were working on. That was a really effective way to make sure there were no sags in the fence. So if you're working on fencing anytime soon, I highly recommend this method.
Pretty good. What? It's pretty good.
We were able to finish this, and that felt really good. We have several gates up, a miniature gate by the front door, and then a larger double gate down where our longer driveway is, and a single gate up at the top of our driveway. As far as projects, that about covers, in a very brief way, everything that we've accomplished the past year. When we weren't working on the house, we were spending time hiking as much as we could. We went on a backpacking trip and just trying to learn the area that we just moved to. It's definitely different than the city, and it's been a huge transition, at least for me, moving from such a big area and a heavily populated area to a place where we don't see many people even drive by our house. It has been a change, definitely. With all of that, neither David and I regret moving here in any way. If we told ourselves in 2020 that we would be property owners in 2022, I would have never believed you. We were at completely different chapters of life then. People in our personal lives know that. And we are just so grateful to be where we are now. And constantly reminding ourselves that we are every day making our dream a reality, no matter what challenge we're currently processing or going through.
Oh my God.
We are living in a dream. This channel moving forward will serve as a timeline for us to look back on in our projects, anything that we've been doing at the house, prepping for future chickens, the more animals we get, once we have horses. This property and area will change quite a bit. Our day-to-day life is going to be changing, which I'm pretty excited for. The content on this channel will change as those things happen, and it would benefit others, hopefully, to see us go through the beginning stages of all of these things that are coming in our near future. And I am pretty excited to share those struggles, the learning experiences, the failures, and the successes, right? We are really pumped for the future here at our home and property, and can't wait to take you along with us.
Tottenham, come on. Tottenham. What are you doing, you big baby? Let's go inside. Come on. Come on. Up. Tottenham, inside. Hey, psst. Tottenham. Oh, God. Tottenham, inside. God damn it. Inside. No.